What's up, $3 patrons and above and all that? Yeah, this poem is called Indifference, and it's never been published. It doesn't get a lot of love, but I think it's one of my favorites, so I really wanted to share it with you all. I've stared out a second-story window all day through the soft asphalt. Hey, $3 patrons and up. Hello, how's it going? It's good to see you through a camera. I can't see you, but you know. This poem is called Indifference. It's one of my favorites. Doesn't get a lot of love. It's never been published, but I really love it. It's very close to my heart, and so I'm happy to share it with you all today. I've stared out a second-story window all day through the soft falling of snow, in the intermittent rumble of truck engines outside the granary. I've sat alone on the stage of an empty theater at midnight and played piano, poorly, for no one at all. I sat too in the last row and watched the lights, and the dust hovering beneath them, and the musty curtains do nothing at all for no one. I've turned on the lights of the marquee in a small Minnesota town where I walked the river and the steel bridge at night. Through the unlit alleyways like a phantom or a boy from the city experimenting with silence. I stood before the empty theater above which I briefly lived until a single bulb flickered out like a firefly in rain. And then it said nothing to no one. And I rested against an oak beside the dam and felt as insignificant as its mist. In that way, I was briefly free and unanswerable to tomorrow. Because what was each brick in that town if not indifferent to my wandering in its dim light? And what is indifference if not a kind of violence which we must each survive? The indifference of crows and water. The indifference of bluffs and deer crossing the highway at night. The indifference of cities and of clocks. I knew a boy with 4 bullet wounds and a bullet still lodged in his leg. His back fused shut from a triple rollover outside of Chicago. He told me he carried a gun to church because if not Judas, what other disciple might be waiting in the shadow of the steeple? Shortly after we met, he said, "I haven't carried a gun for 6 months. I've never felt so naked or so free." At that moment, I imagined him as mist, but I didn't know that months later he would become that. Despite everything, what was it but the indifference of time and his own blood which killed him as he slept? 24 years old and in the back seat of his cousin's car. What, if anything, did the boy's blood say just before he slept forever other than Red River, River Red, full of this body full of lead, small dark egg in our femur, freeway festooned with shattered windshield and torn ribbons of burnt rubber, nothing now could kill us that hasn't killed us, and so we deserve to sleep. And then, what else was there to do but sleep?